Now, our feature presentation.
This is Ed McMahon. And now, here's Say Andrew Z in the morning. It's time to wake up. Andrew Z in the morning. Yeah. Come on.
Good morning. It is in the morning. It is Thursday, March 4th, 2021. In the year of our Lord, Demetrius Nicodemus. Chris Tiefel. Donny P. Wiping the Lagana out of his eyes. My grandma used to call it.
The Lagana.
Georgia.
Andrew Z in the morning.
Woo!
I don't even know what Lagana means, but is that a thing in English too? That's what my grandma used to call like the sleep shit that builds up in your eyes overnight.
No, it's just called sleep.
Sounds like something you need to take a medication for, though.
I know it does. It's funny because we were talking about. I was eating a little granola bar before we started, and Demetrius told me something very interesting that I did not.
I told you something very personal.
Ah.
Oh shoot! Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. You can share. It's moments of my ignorance that I find very wounding, and it makes me double down on my research.
But I agreed with you though, because I'm in the same camp.
So, hey, before you share this, I just Googled Lagana, and Google tried to correct me to lasagna.
I have lasagna in my eyes.
I think it was just an old Spanish, an old Mexican thing that old Mexican ladies use. Then it's not even a real thing apparently. Go ahead, D.
Oh, so okay, so I guess the thing is, Andrew was eating a granola bar, and it was a long time in my life before I realized people made granola, and it wasn't something that was grown out off of a trail somewhere.
And I had never thought about it, but once he said it, I thought the same thing. I'm like, so I asked him, I'm like, so there's not a granola plant, there's not a granola tree, there's not a granola anything. He said, no, it's man-made.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, it's an amalgamation of a bunch of ingredients, and then they were like, and I assume some guy with a long beard and Birkenstocks was like, we'll call it granola. And and yeah, I didn't know. People were like, I kept on seeing things, and Kara was talking about it. She was like, I'm going to make my own granola. And I was like, whoa there, Mr. Scientist God. Like, pump your brakes. Nobody just snaps their fingers and makes granola.
Okay. So, Dee, when you thought about this, when you're like granola, and it's just something that like, did you imagine it grew like on a cob, or out in the field, or
like I thought it was. You know what? To tell you the God's honest truth, I guess I kind of approach granola like I approach hot dogs and sausage. Is that I don't really think about how it's made. I just appreciate it for what it is. And so when people told me, and it was natural, and when I see natural, I assume it grows.
Yeah.
It's organic. It's from the wild. Like I never thought about it, but if you told me that you're growing a granola plant, I'd be like, oh, cool. So you're gonna make your own granola out of your granola plant. But
Chris, you've never had granola on the cob?
I have not had that pleasure. No. I am doing this new kick where I'm cooking and eating at home, so maybe I should.
Yes,
you
should really look into a granola plant. I hear it could save you a ton of money, and
I agree.
And then we
can go on Andrew's fantasy Mexican vacation.
Yeah, I always assumed granola had a season, and there was like a picking migration, and tons of
migrant farm workers coming up from Mexico just to pick the granola.
Pick granola, yeah. They look at each other and they're like, it's granola season, and we lost your uncle to a horrible granola thresher accident.
Yes. Because I would imagine that granola has thorns too for some reason.
Yes, it's very prickly. It's very prickly.
Yes.
I would assume
because it's so good.
Yeah,
because it's so good for you that like nature is trying to keep you from it.
Yes.
It has to protect itself from the predators.
Nature is very selfish. It's trying to keep it for itself. So it would definitely come with pricklies on it.
Yeah, like here's the thing. I think maybe we mistranslated the Bible, and granola was the apple, and God was like, "You can have all of this stuff except this chewy, delicious granola bar tree."
I think we're onto something with this one.
I do too.
And then a very fit serpent just like slithered up and was like, "Hey, why is God keeping this very health benefit from you?"
Yes.
It has a Kai berry.
Yeah. Has he told you about the yoga cave?
The yoga cave. Morning, Mom. Love you. My mom's listening this morning. So Tiefel brought it up, so we can go ahead and bring it up. So I thought we should do a morning show trip, a whole trip with all of us, go on vacation. And I don't know, I'm not getting the reception that I thought.
Yeah, well, first off, you picked an out of the country spot when not even you has a passport.
Well, yeah, but
I
it's
have a passport.
But
he doesn't have one.
No, but it's 8 months away, and we were just going to make a passport applications. They
Can
say
you even get a passport?
3 to 6 months. Sure, absolutely.
I mean, you're a felon.
Yeah, I can get a passport. Wow.
Jesus, wow. What are you, an ex-wife? What the fuck? Who says that? Like, wait, like that little subtle fucking slice at your throat. Thanks, ex-wife.
The way you said it, it wasn't even a question. It was just the nastiness in the tone.
Yeah, what is this?
No nastiness was intended.
Oh my god!
If I was,
no
bullshit. Nastiness was intended.
Bullshit. I'm
trying to get him off the jag of Mexico. Work with me.
We all heard it. We all heard the tone.
I know. Everybody here is a man. We can all recognize that shitty female insult that comes out. Every one of us knows what that sounds like.
We all felt the stank on it, okay?
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're like, wow, in front of my parents? You had to say that in front of my parents,
my
right?
Mom
right.
My mom
right.
Was
That's
asshole.
Cool. That was real cool.
Like she doesn't know.
Yeah. You're gonna tell your mom. You're gonna tell your mom about the time that you couldn't get it up when I really wanted to do it. Wow, really? This is where we're going at 7.
Asshole. Okay, so yes, I can get a passport. We can all get a passport. We have 8 months to do it. So we were gonna leave in December and go to the Planet Hollywood Cancun 5-star resort, all inclusive. Your everything
except for the VR experiences and the mopeds.
Those are always extra.
There's always a couple of extras.
Or if you want to take a scooter ride to feed the indigenous people, that's additional.
Yes. If you want to watch the big granola migration to California, it's going to.
You know what I do appreciate, Andrew? What I really do appreciate is when you sent out that message from the email talking about the package that you specifically left out single people. So you have faith in my ability to not only get a woman in the next 8 months, but get a woman to be in a relationship with me long enough to where she trusts leaving the country with me.
Well, it's
not going to be alone.
Yeah, the only way you're ever going to get a woman is in a group of people, and if you're taking them someplace really fun that they couldn't get on their own. This is the one you have.
Yeah, you have to lead with, I am going to take you into a group of people.
Well, I was.
That sounds good.
That's where I was going. Is you have to lead with, "Would you like to go to Mexico?" That didn't sound so good.
That's gotta be the weirdest pick. That's gotta be the weirdest pickup line at the bar. You just saddle up, be like, "Hey, how you doing? I'm Chris. You want to go to Mexico with me?"
Look, there are a lot of people that I have met in my life that I lead with. I wouldn't want to go to, and then whatever country ends in Stan with you.
Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan,
anything. Yeah, Pakistan,
any of the Stan countries.
Yeah, Steven Stan. I ain't going
so the entire
nowhere.
former Eastern Bloc is off limits to your travels.
Who would want to go there?
No,
So,
I mean, on vacation.
Like honestly, Eastern anything is the worst place you can be. East Toledo, East Europe, East anything. It's like Martin Luther King Boulevard is not always the safest boulevard.
No, and it's actually it is the same thing, because even in St. Louis, I lived out that way for a moment. Even in East St. Louis is a shitty area you can't go to. So East anything.
Yes, East Louisville.
What is East Africa like?
Horrible.
it's not too bad.
Think the East Side, but more Africa.
Let me see here.
More lions.
Africa.
More lions and zebras.
Yeah, and they're East Side lions too. So that like some of them got missing teeth and drinking problems.
And they're really skinny.
Yeah. So we're just tell her you're going to Planet. You want to take her to Planet Hollywood, all inclusive. Here's the thing. So it's airfare for two. It's all the alcohol, all 7 days. It's a 7-day trip. All the food for all 7 days. Any dollar you'd ever have to spend. $2,500 for two people. That's for two people
for a week.
For a week.
But see, here's the thing. Like,
it's a good deal.
I'm not saying that's not a good deal.
Well,
all right. So let's get these feelings out here. So I could tell Andrew is way serious about it.
Yeah, and I'm feeling the peas. I actually am feeling from everybody. I'm not feeling the love on the.
There's no way that the peas are going to be able to go out of the country, and there's no way I'm going to be able to go somewhere without a theme park nearby. Because
or a slide.
I've got so many.
It'd be funny because the only slide that would be good in Mexico is something that got you over the border. Like, and then you'd have to cross back into the country to get to the resort again.
Either a slide over the border, or a trampoline, a big trampoline park right at the border where you're jumping Mexico, America, Mexico, America, Mexico, America.
Yeah, we would use counter technology and put another trampoline there where they would land that would shoot them back over.
That's the line. So I mean, I'm not against a group vacation, but I'm not, because number one, we're really not going to go anywhere without our kids. Not at this stage of our life. We're going to take the kids. I didn't read Josh's post. I'm sorry.
Josh says Tiefel's going to mess it up and say he wants to go take her to Planet Fitness instead, and she's going to.
They got pizza days. That's fun.
All right,
they do.
Go ahead, Donny.
So we're really not at a point where we're going to go without our kids yet. I mean, 5 years from now, possibly. So we've got to go somewhere that we're going to take the kids, and we're not at a point where we're going to go anywhere out of the country at this either. So if we can, and we're not going to fly. So we've got a lot of.
She's not getting on the plane.
You got a lot of issues with this.
There's a lot of things that need to be conquered in the Palicki house. Like literally, you need to break that list down into manageable segments where you're like, okay, this year we're going to work on flight.
I've been working on that. So there's an amusement park near.
You got to take Ashley to a flight simulator.
Coast.
Gonna ease her into it.
Here's the problem, Donny. The problem is that without Donny P, there's where Donny P goes is where the party goes. So without Donny P, I think that it almost shuts the trip down.
Well, he is our Care Bear.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, that's where I was going. Like, what Demetrius hasn't really been messaging in that. How close are you to going to Mexico?
Real quick. Here's why I need Donny, because Donny would come down. I see him in the board shorts, and they've got red palm trees on them, and they're white shorts, and he comes down and. He's got sunglasses on, and he gets to the pool and he's like, "What's up, everybody?" and high-fiving and like Donny shows up and he's got the tray of shots. All right, everybody, it's shot time. And Donny's handing out the shots, and he cannonballs into the pool, and without him, it just sucks the life and the energy out of the whole trip.
Yeah, Donny, you are the embodiment of enthusiasm and optimism.
You know, like when there's a limbo contest and no one wants to do it because everyone's feeling too cool.
Yes.
And I'm gonna have my 2 small shorts on and getting out there and getting people going. I mean, we're gonna be having some fun.
Donnie's gonna be like, "Come on, let's go! It's limbo time. Let's go, everybody!" And then everyone's gonna get up. All right, Donnie P wants us to get up in limbo, so we'll get up. In limbo. Like Donnie P on this trip, Donnie P would officially become international, because then even the Chinese tourists and all the stand tourists that came, they would all be like, oh, they'd go back and have stories about Donnie P in America.
I don't imagine there's too many stand tourists in Mexico.
Vladimir, come sit in and do shots of vodka with me while I tell you about Donald Palicki.
Donald Palicki. We went to Mexico. Oh God, it's freezing. They're back in their shack with the dirt floor and all the friends.
And they somehow afforded a international Mexican vacation to an all-inclusive resort.
Yes, because those are the sacrifices that people make. They're like either a vacation or we get a floor. And then the wife was like, "We're going on vacation.
Right?
We can draw a floor into dirt."
So then everyone's actually coming out of their floorless cabins, and then they're in the middle of the village, and there's a fire, and then everyone says, "Tell us more Donald P. stories, please."
As our village is burning down.
Come around the story fire and listen as I regale you with tales of Donald P. There was a time. Oh my God!
My God.
Did you just say predator?
Yes, he did. He did. He's it's a Fortnite thing, and all right. You didn't get it?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Yeah. All right.
Hey, Donnie.
So Donnie going hurts. Go ahead. Go ahead, Tiefel.
I was gonna say I was gonna give him some advice here to help get Ashley along. Is just take the family, because you can take the kids with you to Imagination Station, and they got a flight simulator right at Imagination Station, and you can ease her into flight right there.
Donnie,
she's flown lots of times.
I got a better idea. Here's a way. She jumps on the plane. She stays a week, and you get to bring your kids. What you have to do is you send your kids first, and then you leave a poorly scrawled note that says, if you want to see your children again, you will meet me at this resort and spa. And then release them one by one. So by the end of the week, she has all of her kids back. She thinks that you're some kind of action hero because you have to come back scuffed up. And then you come back and you give her one child at a time. Yeah. You're like, I couldn't get Livy, but I'm going back tomorrow. And then
you just Liam Neeson it. You just
yeah. I got a certain set of skills.
Meanwhile,
these skills are only good on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Yes, meanwhile, the kids are hanging out in our room.
Yeah.
So that's what we got her there with, and
playing
then,
the Switch.
Yeah, they're having fun. They're having fun. They're okay, and then you're just taking them back to your cabin one at a time. And there you go. So that's how we make that happen. Now, Demetrius, you are the deciding factor, and we haven't seen any. I don't know. D doesn't participate in the group chats much, so
group chats are like group texts. I hate those fucking things, and because my computer, I turn my computer off because I don't know how to turn off the notifications on it that make a sound when you guys start fucking going back and forth with one another. So my computer sounds like it's sending out fucking Morse code. It's ding, bing, 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 bing. And then Kara's like, who's messaging you? And I got to go, it's their damn group chat. And so it just causes issues. And I don't like it. And anything that causes me issues, I don't like. And so
Priscilla,
I don't know.
Him.
You know, I would say that decision is up to Kara Ann.
Right. Well, because here's the thing: is the trip's $2,500 for 2 people. Yes, listeners can go, Priscilla. That's the point. Like,
that's the point.
We're gonna open it up to everybody. I booked 20 rooms.
All 3 of our listeners.
I didn't book. We have 20 rooms set to book, and then you can make
How
payments.
far
on it.
did you take this thing?
Dude,
Without
Andrew
any
is
actual
all the way.
commitment?
Dude,
All the
Andrew
way.
goes all the way. This is there's like Andrew goes from conception to actualization,
Yes.
like immediately after conception. Like
Georgia,
there's no planning.
Show the pictures, Georgia, of the resort. Did you see the pictures, D?
Yes,
No.
I did. I've
You
seen the
did.
pictures. I love it. I do, but frankly, it's I don't know. Like I said, it's up to Kara, and she would have to. I don't know if she could be away from Cohen for a week. Like he would have to come.
Well, you don't. That's the great thing about it, Josh. All three of the listeners.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. The great thing about it is the resort is cut in half. So there's an all adult side and there's a kid side. So you can bring kids. It doesn't have.
You can't get caught. You can't be caught with kids on the all adult side by yourself.
No,
what happens to you when you get back on the family side? If your wife catches you on the all adult side while she's over here watching fucking kids. You come back, you're like, woo, this is the best trip ever. And she's like, I am going to stab you.
So the resort called Planet
Is that
Hollywood
the hurricane picture?
Adult Time
Wait,
has a kid side.
Yes. Well, no, there's two. There's called two different things, but yeah, there's an adult side and a kid side. So you can bring the kids if you want.
Okay.
All right. So we're
That's
waiting.
Pretty.
We're really waiting on you, D. I don't know if anyone's going.
To tell you the God's honest truth, I mean,
go out on the balcony and the water's right there, and look at that. When you walk out and you're in the pool.
See, I don't think it's wise to leave during the shittiest time of the year. It's kind of like getting a day pass from prison. It just doesn't make you got to go back. And not only are you going back, but you're going back to brutal conditions. You might as well just sit at home and bear and just grit through it.
It doesn't have bed bugs. It's a 5-star resort, Georgia. Look at that.
Five-star resorts get bed bugs all the time.
It's the look at that. Okay, so here's the thing, D.
It is pretty.
Colleen's aunt said something very wise yesterday. There's no way to live your life without a trip to look forward to. Like you always have to have a trip to count down to, because even when it's shitty, you're like, oh man, at least I'm going on this trip in November.
I got a trip to the grocery store this weekend.
First of all, pump your brakes. I have that trip, and it's called Costco on Sunday. So
you take a weekly trip.
So that is the thing I look forward to is finding Adidas that only have odd numbers of eyelets on the shoes.
All right. Well, D, you'll have to get back to us. So Donny, would you be in for if for some reason this falls through and listeners don't want to go and D doesn't want to go and Tiefel can't find anybody and George has already said she's not going. So if we can't find it, you want to go earlier. That's hurricane weather from May to October. So you don't want to go anytime. You want to go when it's cold.
So what you're saying is what I'm hearing is discount.
Yeah, you drink hurricane. Yes.
Right.
You could drink hurricanes in the hurricane.
Ernie, we haven't. We've only prelimed it so far. Look, Ernie might want to go. Priscilla might want to go.
Prelimed it. You're talking about how you blocked off 20 rooms.
He hasn't sent it to the listeners yet.
Yeah. No, well, we haven't, but we tentatively booked them. We have to say yes, we're going to do this, and then they'll be finalized.
Get quotes for single.
Down. It's down. Goes down from 2,500 for 2 to 1,500 total. But it's in Cancun. By the way, it's the Planet Hollywood Cancun.
We'll follow in the steps of Ted Cruz.
Yeah, exactly. What were you gonna say, D?
I've never been to Cancun, and
you've never been?
There's literally, I think we have to I don't know. There has to be some kind of presentation set out, and I know Kara just needs.
She'll need a presentation.
First of all, we talk about vacations all the time. We talk about we need to just get away and have something like that. And You know, if we saw Cancun, I know she and I got married in St. Thomas, and that was 10 days. We spent 10 days in St. Thomas, and 10 days feels like at like day 8, like you work at the resort. So,
I know. Yeah, but
like,
they know your name, all the people you're walking down.
People are like, people are like this. Holy shit! Why are you still here? You know,
10 days is a long one.
I feel like more fun to be had in Tijuana.
No, it's a border town. There's drugs and shooting going on.
What the shit?
He's vacation in Tijuana.
It's more fun to be had in Tijuana. If you enjoy switchblades and random acts of violence, I suggest you come to Tijuana.
I mean, I've been. It's fun.
So two things. I understand. Karen needs a presentation. She's be talking to it. Number one. Number two, we never got a honeymoon. So in 2 years we've been married, we're like, all right, this is gonna be our honeymoon. And the three thing with 8 months.
Do you get a honeymoon on your second one? like
you guys have. I mean, you have like 15 kids around all the time. Like I don't know if you get a honeymoon.
I know that's true.
Like on your second baby, should you be throwing a shower? I mean, for fuck's sake,
it's called a sprinkle.
We know.
Sprinkle.
Yeah.
It is.
So again, the resort's in Cancun. It's called the Planet Hollywood. So here's what we're gonna do: is we'll see. We can.
Oh my God, bro! I'm sorry. I just can't. Here's the thing. All right. What? A lot of people, when we talk about these trips and things, because this is literally the first time we talk about.
You ain't wrong, Josh.
The first thing people do is they go, "My body is not ready for a trip to Cancun."
Right.
So what we should do is we should also put in place like a 3 or 4 month like workout kind of schedule thing that like people can just like do.
We work out
to get prepared. Like we all get together and holy shit, I'm turning this into a cult. Anyway,
I love it.
But you know, it gets you healthy, it gets you feeling good. You're working out because you got a goal, because you're gonna get on, and then because you want to have a pretty body when you're kidnapped. It'll be awesome.
Yes. Well, you also want to have the strength. You also want to have the strength to fight off the bandito.
I want to stay. I want to stay this big. I want to stay like this because nobody's kidnapping this. It doesn't matter how much money. It's no matter how much money I'm flashing around. Doesn't matter anything. Nobody's like get.
I don't know.
Really,
I wouldn't. You kind of look like a little bit like you could be a cartel leader. Just a little bit.
Yeah. Yep. He needs a cigar in his mouth.
He does. Yeah, a little bit of southern, a little bit of Castro beard. I don't know what's going on.
He needs a white suit, and a cigar.
No, because if I put on a white suit, then I just look like that midget on. If I put on a white suit, I just look like that midget on Fantasy Island.
You look like a giant tattoo the tattoo sponge where you sit it in water and then it just absorbed all the water. And
do you mean the amazing and excellent actor known as Harvey Villachez?
I was unaware of his actual name, but yes.
Pull up tattoo, Georgia.
First of
all,
actually
make up that name?
No, and he was one of the most dangerous villains in the James Bond era. Until James Bond put him in a suitcase and ran him up a flagpole. That was kind of shitty, and I don't think that scene would have made it in today.
Josh says firstly,
dwarf tossing in James Bond.
Josh says firstly, you don't want to be the fat one of the group. Jurassic Park taught you that, bro.
No, that was fat guy and IT guy. See, oh shit, I'm screwed.
All right, so last thing, real quick. So it's 8 months away. If you're putting away $300 a month, boom, it's done.
Oh, yeah, I just happen to have $300 extra.
Yes, because you know what I suggest? I suggest like maybe you just don't pay your electric bill for 4 months. Put that money aside, and when they call to turn it off, just go, hey, I'm putting money away for a trip to Mexico. And they'll go, well, that makes sense because it's about to be cold as fucking here.
I mean, if there's any time not to pay your bills, it's COVID time right now with all the moratoriums.
right. That's right. All right. So we'll see if we can get a we'll see two things. If we can either get a presentation to Kara, maybe we do. I don't know. All right. So we'll figure it out. But or maybe we can get Donnie P on board. We do a trip to like I don't know. It's Sea World or something. I don't know.
I was like, why don't you find a vacation stateside?
We could drive
the problem with stateside is it's I swear to God, I promise, and I have done this a million times. Any stateside vacation, by the time you pay for food, lodging, and everything, is more expensive than going to the tropical paradise of Cancun for a week. For $1,200 a person for a week. Where are you going to do? Even if you spend $200 a day on food, between breakfast, lunch, and dinner. For one just the food, that's not even counting the hotel. Just the food is more expensive than the trip.
But there are all inclusive packages at places in the States.
Yeah, they're way more expensive though. They're not. Watch, I'm telling you. Trust me, I've looked. I promise. But anyway, so we'll see. We'll have to put this on hold and we'll see. Donnie is your fun Bobby. I don't know what that is, but yes, Donnie is the fun Bobby. Hilton Head Island in South Carolina. But I'm telling you, Josh, there's no better deal on the planet. I promise. I've looked. Than
Dominican Republic.
All you get. Yeah, it's the same thing. DR is the same thing, but whatever. Anyway, let's move on.
Look at you, all fancy, calling it the DR.
I've been to both. They are the same.
Man, the DR. Do we call it Puerto Rico the PR? Is that
yes.
Do we call Cuba the cigar? Is that what we're gonna do?
I dare you to go down to the DR and look a local in the face and say you're the same thing as Mexico. Do it.
I mean, like they're both resort. They built themselves around. It's like they're both do the same thing. They're both one's on the one's in the Caribbean, one's on the Mexican peninsula. They're both.
You don't see the difference.
Both are inexpensive. No, they're both of great values.
One's in the Caribbean. One's in Mexico.
What he's saying is it is basically it's the same climate, same kind of vacation.
Right.
He's not saying the people are the same. No. He's saying the packages are basically the same.
Yeah, exactly. They're designed to be touristy and all inclusive, and you could go wherever the cheapest package is. Either one would work. I've gone to both, and they're both basically the same stuff. Okay, let's move on. It's 7:00. Thank you guys so much for listening. We do appreciate it. Once you share the show and make comments and do all that, we love when you do that. And follow us and make sure you download the podcast wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Subscribe, do all that stuff because it definitely does help us. Lori says there is only one all-inclusive in the U.S. we've been able to find, and it's A Club Med in Florida, and it's ridiculously expensive. That's the thing. When it comes to value, you can't get better than like Dominican Republic or Cancun.
Here's the thing. You want to go to Mexico for your pharmaceuticals and your vacations. We all know that. those are the places where you get El Insalone for like $2.99.
Yes. Now, Lori, are you going with us? If we book this trip, I want to know. Put in the comments if you're going. If you're seriously considering going, Josh, you going? Come on, Josh. All three of us are still here. Fuck you, Josh. All right. So, Catherine, you guys know who Catherine McPhee is?
Yeah.
Catherine McPhee is.
Wasn't she like an American Idol or like somebody?
Yeah,
she married some old man, right?
Well, only
she's like the American version of Celine Dion.
She's married to one of the greatest musician minds in this country's ever seen. So Catherine,
what, Beethoven?
Well, okay, not that.
The dude's like 1,000 years old. He is.
Oh,
how old is he?
She's not married to Beethoven. She's married to David Foster, who's who David Foster is. Come on.
Yeah, he looks just as fucking surprised that she's sitting next to
him. Who's David Foster? I mean,
are you serious? Who's David Foster?
He just looks like a generic white dude.
Georgia, please pull up.
A little familiar.
Please pull up the resume of David Foster. He has a ridiculous.
Or like you could just say the words. like the way radio works.
David Foster is 71, and Catherine McPhee is 36, and she's now pregnant.
What'd she do? Did it come out in dust and she had to add water to it and throw it in a turkey baster?
It was
what
dehydrated.
the shit?
So she's 36. She said the 35-year age gap was a concern for her, but more because of public perception. Quote, we all have the ability to label things and to look at something for the way it looks or face value and make judgment. So I totally get the judgment initially, but things are never as they appear. Things are never exactly as they appear. And I'm in love with
a 77-year-old man with a 30-some-odd-year-old woman. That's exactly as it appears.
He says, I'm in love with our love story, and that's all that matters, the new mom said on Monday's episode of Dr. Berlin's Informed.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna look it up here. David Foster net worth. Let's see here. See, 150 million. That's the story. That's their romance.
She's definitely in love with the story.
Yeah, because you know she's not. He's like, yeah, you can get pregnant, absolutely. What's his commitment to it? What, 8 years at the most? 8. Right. What? He's 71. He gets he gets the cute toddler shit, and then guess what? He's checking out, and now he's just a story about how great my dad was. I understand he was 80, but damn, my dad was awesome.
And now that poor kid has to deal with stuff like oh, is this a picture of your grandfather?
Yeah.
No.
But when they're both laying on the changing table and they're looking at each other. And he's got to look over and go, I understand how fucking humiliating this is right now.
Yeah, he's like,
your mom's got to do me first.
Look.
Who's my little champion? Who's my little champion?
So David Foster, let me tell you who he is, then we'll get back to the love story that she's in love with. He has 16 Grammy Awards. 47 nominations
for things I've never heard of. I'm looking at this.
What are you talking about? He's the one that he's the brains behind Whitney Houston. I think
he's the brains behind a single song that Whitney Houston sung in The Bodyguard.
He's not, dude. That is not true. David Foster.
That's literally what Wikipedia just says right now about him. I know, he wrote a song that she sung in The Bodyguard.
No,
You're My Inspiration by Chicago. When a Man Loves a Woman, which I guess when he can now change to When an Old Man Loves a Woman.
Let's see. He's done Michael Bublé stuff. He's done stuff for Seal. He's more of a producer. He's a music producer. Yeah. He's a mogul. He's a music mogul. Yeah. He's not as known as much.
He's a hit maker.
Yeah, Celine Dion. Josh Groban, Barbara Streisand, Tony Braxton, Mariah Carey, Barbara Streisand, Olivia Newton-John, Paul Anka, Bette Midler.
Paul Anka. That should tell you how fucking old he is.
Taylor Dane, Peter Cetera, Kenny Loggins, Natalie Cole, Aretha Franklin, Paul McCartney. Neil Diamond, Jermaine Jackson. Well, okay, sorry. Patti LaBelle.
But nobody cares about who the producer is. They care about the person singing the song.
My point is, Earth, Wind, and Fire. My point is his success. There's.
The reason why I say that is I was pointing out the ridiculousness of his thinking that it wasn't possible that we had never heard of this man before.
Do you know?
He's behind some of the biggest songs we've ever heard.
Okay, I can tell you who sung the song. I don't give a crap who wrote the song, who produced the song, who pushed the record button in the studio. Any of that stuff.
Who does? His bank account does. You know who made more money off those songs than the people who sang them? The guy who produced it.
The guy who owns the song, who actually made the song.
I watch a movie. I'm not thinking who the Gapper was. Okay, I'm not.
Not the same.
It's not.
We're not saying who's the intern on when they made the song that's in the studio. This is the dude that made the song. You can't compare it to the Gaffer. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, come on.
Don't be an asshole.
Yeah. Do you know who wonders who the Gaffer is in the movie? Another Gaffer who's watching the movie. He's like,
Paul. Oh man,
that one.
They got the Gaffer of gaffers.
He is like the David Foster of gaffers.
Hey, don't downplay the gaffer, the grip, and the key grip, because without those guys, you don't have the movies you love. Okay.
Yes, or masturbation. Especially your key grip. You need your key grip. You just can't have a regular grip. Who knows how long that'll last?
The grips help the key grip.
What I'm surprised about is whenever I do look into who actually like wrote a song, how many songs it took where like they collaborated together. Like it took more than one person to write like a Britney Spears song.
Mm-hmm.
Like just weird.
All right. So, anyway, 71. Having a baby at 71 is pretty crazy.
Well, he's not having it.
But if you look at him, he doesn't
She's
look
34.
His effort's done.
I've tried to tell you guys, but you poo me. I try to tell you that ages aren't the same as they used to be. Like
Dude,
the dude
71 is still 71.
No, the dude looks 55. Put his picture back up, George. He looks 55.
He's got some nice, mysterious eyes.
Yeah,
he's 40 years older than the woman who's having his child.
He's a good-looking.
If I put a Model T engine in a fucking 2020 fucking Ford, it looks like a brand new car, but it still has a fucking 100-year-old engine in it.
Well, obviously the engine is performing, if you know what I mean.
Look, I imagine every time he orgasms, it looks like LeBron James coming into a game.
He's like, that's a good looking son bitch. So he looks like 50, 55.
That's the beauty of plastic surgery.
You don't know what that looks like underneath that tux. He probably looks like a Shar-Pei.
Well, here's the thing is also that is a product of not a hard life. Like, not saying music producer isn't stressful, but I mean he's been successful his whole life. So I mean he just really doesn't you never had to worry about a light bill. You never had to worry about an electric bill. You've never had to worry about your shit getting cut off. So that's what it looks like when you don't have to worry about that stuff.
Can you imagine getting to I it blows my mind when I think about people who have lived their lives to a point where they've never had to worry about things. Like
I've thought about that.
If the lights went out, they thought it was an electrical issue. Never oh my God, I forgot to pay my bill issue. It's never been that for them.
That is the most genius thing you've ever said, because it's so true. The difference between a rich person and a poor person, the lights go out and you're like, fuck, Colleen, did you fucking pay the bill?
Yeah.
Instead of call the electrician, something's wrong in the house. Yeah. That's the difference between a poor person and a rich person.
I pity them. I pity them because how can you appreciate something is all the way? Like, how can you appreciate your car if you've never had a tow truck driver knock on your sliding glass door window to come pick it up, or you got to make the payment? Like, how can you?
I do not believe for a moment in it. Like these, like with Anna Nicole Smith and this one, I don't believe that for a moment there was actual love in there. Like when this woman was born, he was being featured in Rolling Stone. Okay, he'd already had a long enough career and successful enough where Rolling Stone was like, "Hey, this guy's pretty cool." Right? Like there's no love there. There's a
let me tell you
generation gaps there is.
Go ahead, Donny.
Go ahead, Don.
Well, here, I'm just gonna try and help Chris wrap his brain around the coolness of this guy. Okay.
Thank you.
He's worth $150 million. He's made all these hits. Hold on. But he's confident and cool enough that he doesn't care that guys like you and me have never heard of him. He's not out there flashing it around. He's not out there being, hey, me, I'm David Foster. Like, I have never heard of this guy, and I'm surprised I haven't. So I'm telling you, this dude's got a swag that we might not quite understand. I'm not
discounting the fact that he's got the money, he's got the swag, he's got the confidence. I'm not discounting any of that. But there is no way that you're going to be able to convince me that somebody with like 4 or 5 generations after him somehow has enough in common and enough interest in common with him.
They're people that have beating hearts. What else do you need, Chris?
I know. Don't be an asshole. Look at this. I would bang this 70-year-old. Look at.
You know who's beat?
Would you bang this 70-year-old?
Look, first of all, like I said, that all looks like a wrinkled shirt underneath that suit. You just know that skin is not as taut as it used to be.
That is fancy packaging.
But I will say, you know who's probably has more issues and hears more shit about it than anybody else is Catherine McPhee's dad. Her mom probably looks at him and goes, "One more fucking hug. That's all you had to do. One more hug." And she could have been with somebody her own age. But now look at her. Look at her looking for affection from a father figure.
Seriously, he's older than her father. He's old enough. Like, it is insane.
He's older than her father. That is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But here's so going back to
this dude bought beer for me.
For the dad. Dad.
I mean,
look at that dude.
That's my favorite picture right there.
He goes, and it was like this. He probably went like this, "Dude, how much money do you want for doing me this salad?" And David Foster went, "Don't worry, I'm just gonna come back through your life one day and ask you for a favor."
Yeah. Oh, look, that's my favorite picture that you just put up. Look, you know he's not wearing undies in that picture. That's how much swag he has.
Right, that dude's cool as fuck.
Yeah, and you know his testicles are tucked into his sock.
Okay.
Like, I don't discount the dude getting laid, having swagger, but there's no way there's love in that relationship. Real love.
There has to be some, because she got pregnant.
That's coming from a guy that doesn't know love.
You don't know what I know.
That's your problem. That's why you're being such a hater.
I know.
No, you don't know what I know.
You were like the Grinch.
No,
I promise you, if you're lucky enough to make it to 70 and have,
I would totally go after the 30-year-old if I had a shot.
Not going after.
But I'm not going to give any illusions that there's going to be love there.
Hold on, go ahead. Dan.
I know, but you're not going to feel like a 70-year-old dude. You're going to feel like I'm Chris, and all of a sudden I'm 70. Oh shit! But you're still living your life. Yeah. And you're doing your thing.
Who's the coolest dude in the bar? The guy, the 20-year-old who walks in with a hot 20-year-old, or the 70-year-old who walks in with a hot 30-year-old?
70-year-old, because you want to know what the fuck's that? I got to talk to that guy. What's that guy got? Because 20-year-old with a 20-year-old, that's no big deal. That's nothing. But if you're 70 and you're like, whoa, that's pretty amazing. And Donny brings up one good point that I want to go back to about how if you've never had to struggle, you can't appreciate the finer things as much. And it's a good point, because if we live here in Ohio, if we go to Cancun, like you're going to appreciate that trip. If you live in Hawaii and you're going to Cancun, you're like, nah, it's just another sunny day with 70-degree and beautiful blue oceans. There's no big deal.
Where do people
shaded Hawaiians?
Where do people who live in paradise go to vacation? Like, where do you go? Jersey? Like, what the? Where? What do you do? I mean, like, honestly, you're like, we really need to book a trip to Toledo for a week.
Well, that's why those people climb mountains, I think, from out in California, like those people that like hang on cracks and climb around because they're bored with the beach or something. Like, I think I'll go climb some cracks.
I know.
I'll go climb 1,000 feet straight up, not attached to anything, because there is just way too much beauty where I live.
Right.
Like my buddy Tony lives in Hawaii, and he'll send me pictures.
Is this the guy who is in the cult?
No, no. Tony, Tony's the guy.
How many people do you know that live in Hawaii? Because we now know 2.
Yeah, 2, like just 2. But this one, this guy, he owns some businesses there and stuff. But he's what was I gonna say? He'll send me fucking text messages. He'll be like, "Hey, I had to pull out the sweater today. It got down to 68." I'm like, "You motherfucker." like
you go like, then you text back and you're like, hey, I had to pull out the umbrella and my house is still here.
You know what I didn't step in today? Lava. None of that.
Yep. My sidewalk isn't on fire today. How about that? How about we trade little jabs about the temperature?
You know what didn't bite my leg? A bearded dragon.
Yep.
Whoa.
I might have bit one. Never mind.
All right. Let's get into Tiefel's Ebenezer Bushrod's WTF news.
All right. Well,
Who's that?
Just to
him finishing.
All right. So just to piss off D.
I wasn't
all
ready
my-
for you to go to that soon. I was just finishing.
I wasn't expecting him to bring up the news so fast.
So just to piss off D today, all my stories come out of the UK.
Of course.
So now apparently overnight in the village of Storrington, thieves went and stole all the pavement from a sidewalk. Nobody knows why. Nobody knows who did it. All they know is they feel unsafe because apparently you can secure your house all you want, but they're still steal your sidewalk.
Somebody wanted like a rustic looking floor and didn't want to pay for it.
Dude, could you? I mean, honestly, the first call I'm making is to my boss, and I'm like, "Hey, I can't make it. Somebody, I can't even get into the street. Somebody tore up my sidewalk. It's all gone. So it's crazy."
Yep, continuing my cats are assholes theme. A cat in Manchester took a train out of service because it refused to get off the top of the train. It made passengers late because they had to switch to an alternate train on there, and they spent almost an hour trying to coax the cat down off the train because it was next to a live power line on there, and it just kind of stood up there and just stayed there and stared everyone down for almost an hour.
It looks like my cat.
Yeah. Why not just push that cat into the power line?
Well, apparently that's not allowed. I don't know why they spent so much time, but it was, I mean, literally the train was only a few minutes away from starting on its journey and ending up going 126 miles an hour. And I feel like that would have taken care of the situation. But apparently they're a lot more,
the English strike
humane
me
than
as
I am.
people.
What's that?
I said the English strike me as cat people. Like America is, we're dog people. The English are cat people. You know, they just, that's just the feeling I get. Like the whole country smells like a kitty litter.
I agree. I totally agree. That is the perfect analogy. British people are fucking cat people, and Americans, we are bulldog people.
Mm-hmm.
Bulldog, German shepherds, and they just love their kitties. Oh, kitty. Yeah. Oh, kitty. Yeah. Come here, kitty. Come hither. The fuck out of here, kitty.
So a 35 year ago.
Have you seen my pussy? Lovey. Did you leave the door open? Time. I told you about the door. My pussy will walk right out of it.
Now I'm sad. I'm sad. Sad. So sad.
Pussy.
Yeah, pussy.
Bloody hell.
Dude, can I tell you I did the dumbest thing fucking feeding my fish yesterday? I pulled out the food and I went like this.
Come here.
Yummy boy.
Yeah. Oh, wait, never mind.
And last and best story of the morning. Was recently reported in a urology journal. A 35-year-old British man about a year ago fell off his moped and landed on his taint. And he went to the hospital. There was some bruising and things, and most people, and they figured he was all right. But then apparently he ended up with a 9-day erection.
Mm.
Oh.
Now he
I remember
eventually.
What's that?
He eventually,
I said, I remember puberty.
he eventually started getting concerned by his newfound tumescence and went to the hospital, where they diagnosed him with, and I did not know that they graded them, they diagnosed him with a grade 4 erection, which is the hardest erection on the scale. So there is a scale of erections.
I had no idea.
I had no idea. They had to try and cut glass with it. Yep, this is a 4.
It is described as a rigid.
Could you imagine the poor nurse that had to put that chart together?
Well, you have to do a lot of research.
Yeah.
So there's a scale of 1 to 4.
Grab it. That's a 2. That's
Well, the second one is, can it break one of those karate boards? You know, like, because those things are hard, but they're not too hard. Oh yeah,
it's like can you play pencils with it like you were in the 8th grade? Like whack somebody's knuckle.
Yeah.
David Foster always has a 4.
Yeah.
He's always a 4.
And every time he pulled it out, it like glistened, and it was like, oh,
exactly.
Harder than
David
diamonds.
Foster erection.
So they had, basically, he had this rare thing called priapism, which is basically too much oxygenated blood being sent to the old member, and they had to drain him. Normally they use ice packs and stuff like that to try to, get her down, but they thought, let's stick a needle in there.
I have a serious medical question though.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say I'm Andrew, and if my erection is a 3, is it always a 3, or does it depend on how hot the girl is, or can
I make it a 4?
Can your wife grab and goes, oh, well, I'm a 2. Why are you looking at this movie with Gil Gadot or whatever her name is, and all of a sudden you're a 3, and she grabs it right there. She's like, oh, I see how this is. I don't.
First of all, I would go, why are you so fucking familiar with this chart? So
years
this should fucking be a 4 for you. You should know there's a fucking 4 out there. How about that? This should be your experience, and this should be your 4.
So, but going on a year now, the man is slowly regaining normal erectile function.
Really? Who cares? He was riding a moped. We know he wasn't using that thing.
But still, no one's able to answer my question.
I'm still trying to figure out how he landed on his taint.
Yeah. What Andrew was saying is, do you have like a rating? Like, you have like a rating that's what you are.
Yeah.
Can you move up and down on the scale? That's what you're saying.
Yes, you can. Yes,
I would say you can move up and down on the scale.
Yeah. I would probably say, like, you're probably a 4 in the morning.
Yeah. Like,
4 in the morning. Yeah. Like, honestly, that is when I'm a 4. I'm probably like a 3 in the afternoon. It's like my dick has Alzheimer's. It's crazy. And
it's just sundown, dick goes down.
But this is a scale. This is a scale that you wouldn't want your wife to know about, because, like I said, if she's like, oh, she'd be crying in the corner. Oh, I'm a 1. I get a 1. I get 1 dick. Come on. What the fuck? I mean,
hey, and then you go like this. Well, I didn't know I was with a 6 vagina. I didn't know that. I was hoping for a 1, but evidently I got a big size 7. So
1 dick isn't like all the way go. It's not like 1 dick is like when you're hungry but you're not starving. Like, I could eat, but like, you know what I mean? 1 dick is like, hey, what are you up to?
Yeah.
You're trying to initiate
a 4 dick.
Yeah. 1 dick is the text, are you up?
Little 3 a.m.
4 dick is, I hope you're up. I'm coming over.
Yeah, I'm outside. 4 dick is, I'm outside.
The 4 dick is what Tiefel has all the time, because it's been so long. He's ready to always got a 4 dick.
Yeah, I take care of it. We're good.
Well, it's not the same though.
I'm sure Tiefel's dick is just like, here we go again.
I always give myself a 4.
I'm tired of rehearsing. I'd like audience just one time. Every day he goes, tomorrow could be the day, so we got to practice.
Just put me in the show, coach.
Oh, you got to paint different like mustaches on your hand. You gotta, I'm gonna give it.
What the hell do you think? Why would I put a mustache on the hand?
Do you come around here often? What is your name? Hey, do you mind if I have a little drink? Oh, how you doing?
I've never seen you around here before.
Oh, that's because I'm a stranger. Somebody has been sitting on me all day, so they can't feel it. Anyway, so let me tell you about something here. I don't normally do this. I like to get to know people before I actually just jump into this. But you look like somebody I could really get a hold of.
Yes, I've never done this either.
I'm in town on a business trip.
Why
I have to translate left-hand handwriting.
Why can't it be a woman? I don't understand.
Why
is my hand a Hispanic male?
You get what you get, man.
Yeah.
Sit.
And your stage, it's whatever you get, man. Just enjoy it.
You guys had a good day. It was awesome talking to you.
Bye, Tiefel's hand.
Bye.
All right, there's Tiefel's hand. Chris Tiefel, Donny P, Demetrius Nicodemus, I'm Andrew C. Bye, everybody. It's producer Georgia. We'll see you tomorrow.
Come on!